Well, hello there, my name is Vinny Voodoo, and about 3 days ago, Warzone Pacific had a second birthday, and I was going to make a birthday video, or a kind of retrospective, looking back to Verdansk and the evolution of the game up to this point. The problem I have with that is really a lot of people will be doing that anyway, and also birthday is a celebration, and I'm not sure we have too much to celebrate here with the Warzone Pacific and the current state it's in. One, Caldera to me looks like a last gen game, not an OG gen game, not PS4, we're talking PS3 and Xbox 360. I don't think it's good enough for 2022, and given that the game's 2 years old and seems to have devolved graphically since Verdansk, I'm not going to celebrate that. But I did notice something rather interesting while I was sort of preliminarily making that video, and that was the operators have gone darker in terms of their luminance of their textures, and I just want to briefly touch on why I think that is and show you some examples of what I'm talking about. So why don't we go and do that? Now, the first time I realized something wasn't quite right with the darkness of the characters was when I happened to brush past young Adler here, and I noticed his hair color had changed again, which happens, so he goes and gets it dyed every so often. But anyone who's seen my previous texture pack comparison videos will know I use Adler a lot, because when his color is smooth, I can see that the high resolution textures are in. But when I was looking at that, I happened to notice that his jacket looks so much darker than it normally is, and I thought, is it my imagination? And I went back and compared it, and no, it isn't, and they have definitely darkened the characters here. And I thought, well, maybe it's got something to do with a Black Ops patch or a storyline that I've missed, because I don't own Black Ops. So I went and had a look at a Modern Warfare character, and one that I used a lot was Nikolai. So we're going to have a look at him because he's got kind of like a stripy shirt on, and his arm on the left, which is often what I looked at, now almost looks like he's got chocolate powder or something smeared over it. And don't get me wrong, I really like this new darker, grimier element of these characters, because one of the things I really disliked seeing in is when Black Ops came out and Jackal had this character, which is when I realized we are going down the route of Fortnite, and we are probably going to end up with Spider-Man as an operator. We haven't yet, and that's probably a Fortnite exclusive, but we have had Judge Dredd and John Rambo and this animated stuff which couldn't really exist in real life. But that's nothing compared to what's in the store, and I think that's the reason they've darkened them, the store. So let's jump over to that and continue. And here we are in the store, and really this pack leader was the first inkling that made me think this, you know, we've gone from any sort of semblance of reality to complete and utter fantasy, D&D kind of stuff. And of course that's because her skin is now lit up. And don't get me wrong, this is a really well rendered character. I love the kind of leather effect on her leg there, and the runes and the chainmail. It's just that this character should clearly be in you know, Horizon Zero Dawn, and not Call of Duty Vanguard, because that's the key here, is this character is for Vanguard. You could buy this character in Vanguard and play multiplayer in a simulation that's supposed to be serious about World War II. And it's kind of like, yeah, so this is why I think Warzone should be its own entity, because really Warzone can be any fantasy it wants, whereas if you've got something serious like a World War level of Call of Duty, this just is so out of place, it's unbelievable. There's more out of place stuff than this in the store though. But going back to why I think they've darkened the characters, because they wanted these guys to look so clean and vibrant and new and exciting, all the hair moves and so on. And I think they've gone back and effectively planned obsolescence on the old characters so that you won't want to use them. That's why I think they've darkened them. It's because of these incredibly rich coloured characters in the store. Of course, the Attack on Titan was sort of the death knell for me of realism because of this guy, and I guess you could argue that a human could wear this as a kind of Halloween costume, but let's be honest, you know, if you're playing Vanguard, and let me know in the comments what you think about this, and you come across this guy in multiplayer, do you not just think, well, you know, I'm not playing any sort of like thing in World War II. I'm playing some fantasy game like Fortnite, even though it's Vanguard, you know, the severity of the Pacific battle and the Midwest and all that. And yeah, no, it's just ridiculous now, isn't it? Amusingly, it means that the characters that come with Vanguard in the actual operator select screen are now the most realistic of the operators, really. It's stuff like the look of Padmavati here. That coming straight out of World War One or even World War Two there, and it looks great. But you know, you've got 8 people who look like that, and then you've got someone who's dressed like the Attack on Titan. Any idea of like immersion and suspension of disbelief surely has gone. So yes, no 2-year special for me, and I believe that the reason they've darkened the operators is to make the new ones in Vanguard and in the store look better. But I'll keep on researching it, and I'd love to hear your comments and opinions. Do you like the darker look of the operators, or are you happy enough to use Tron-like characters like the pack leader that I showed a moment ago? Let me know. In the meantime, it leaves me to say that my name is Vinny Voodoo. Happy birthday, Warzone, and I'll talk to you soon.